All right, let's dive in, shall we? You've said a whole bunch of articles and research this time, all about how AI is, well, shaking things up in medicine, like right now.
Yeah, it really is.
It's pretty wild.
It is remarkable how fast things are developing. Just this past year, it seems like AI has gone from, just showing potential to actually making a real difference for patients.
Yeah, we're talking about completely new tools to figure out what's wrong with people, AI doing better than doctors on exams. And it even brings up some pretty big questions we have to think about.
It does.
To sort of navigate all of this, I thought we could start with that app for autism screening, then look at how AI is doing with diagnosing heart attacks, and then finally we'll explore some of the bigger picture implications of all of this.
Okay, sounds good. That autism screening app, Sense to Know, it's a great example of how AI can really address a very specific need. We know how important early detection is for autism. The earlier the better for intervention, but the traditional methods, well, they have limitations, especially for certain groups.
Yeah, this app is showing some incredible potential for screening toddlers for autism, specifically between 16 and 40 months.
Right.
Imagine parents could use this app at home and detect autism with over 90% accuracy.
It's amazing.
No more long waiting lists, no more, just agonizing over uncertainty.
Yeah, and what's even more impressive is that the accuracy, it's consistent across different racial and ethnic backgrounds. Even when kids have different scores on the standard screening, what is it called? The MCHAT-RF. It's outperforming current methods, especially for groups that haven't always had, equitable access to these types of tools.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. The way it works is pretty amazing too. It uses short videos of the child playing games, reacting to different stimuli on an iPad or iPhone.
Right.
And then it uses machine learning to analyze all that data. I think it's helpful to remind people machine learning is basically a computer program that learns from examples, and as it sees more examples, it gets better and better at what it does.
Exactly.
It's basically teaching itself how to do things.
Yeah. Yeah, the app is picking up on very subtle things in behavior, things that even trained professionals might miss. The researchers, they looked at head movements, gaze patterns, where is the child looking, how they interact with the touch screen during these games. All these tiny little details contribute to the analysis.
That's wild. And this is where it gets really interesting. The study found that Sense to Know works just as well on iPhones as it did on iPads. So families don't need to have the latest, greatest technology for it to be effective.
Right, which is huge. Because that's a huge step towards making sure everyone has access to this technology, regardless of their income or what kind of devices they have. It's encouraging to see that sort of, consideration being baked into the research from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, buckle up for this next one because AI is officially passing medical board exams.
Whoa.
We're talking about a specific AI called GPT-4.
Now, this is a big development. Imagine an AI that can process information like a superpowered brain. GPT-4 is what's called a large language model, which means it's been trained on a massive amount of text and code.
Right.
Think of it like having all the knowledge of medical textbooks and journals just stored in this one system. GPT-4 was able to score above the passing threshold in 4 out of 5 medical specialties.
Wow.
Internal medicine, general surgery, psychiatry, and pediatrics.
That's incredible. And it's even more astounding, I think, when you consider that it scored higher than most actual human doctors who took the same exam.
It is. And to make it even more impressive, the researchers used the official board exams, like the exact same ones that are used to license doctors. This wasn't, some kind of simplified test. It was the real deal.
So now, before anyone panics out there, this does not mean doctors are going to be replaced by robots.
Right. Of course not.
However, it does raise some pretty big questions. What does this mean for the future of how doctors are trained? Could AI become, this crucial tool that helps doctors, leading to more accurate diagnoses and better care for patients?
I think those are all valid questions. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And the implications are enormous. Imagine a future where AI and doctors work side by side, each using their strengths to provide the best possible care.
Yeah, that's the hope, right?
It is.
Speaking of AI being used in real world situations, there's this study about how AI is helping to diagnose STEMI heart attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Which are, incredibly serious. and they require immediate action.
Absolutely. Every second counts in those situations.
Yeah.
The faster you can get the patient the treatment they need, the better their chances of survival.
So researchers, they conducted a trial where they compared an AI-powered EKG system to the standard care procedures for over 43,000 patients.
Wow.
And what they found was really remarkable. This AI system, it significantly reduced the time it took to get patients with STEMI into the cath lab for treatment. We're talking about saving valuable minutes. That can literally be the difference between life and death.
Right.
That's incredible. So they're definitely cutting down the time. But are they getting it right?
That's the key question, isn't it? And the results, they're very encouraging. This AI system was incredibly accurate in identifying those STEMI cases. It had, get this, a positive predictive value of almost 90%.
Wow. So 9 out of 10 times when the AI flagged a case as a possible STEMI, it was accurate.
Yeah.
That level of accuracy is really impressive, especially when, like you said, time is of the essence. This could really help cut down on those, misdiagnoses and treatment delays.
Yeah, it really shows how AI can have a real tangible impact on patient outcomes, not just in theory, but in, actual clinical practice. It's a powerful example of what AI can achieve in medicine.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's clear AI is making waves, but it also kind of makes you think, who's really learning from whom in all of this?
It's a fascinating question. As AI systems become more and more advanced, are we the human doctors, are we at risk of losing some of our own expertise, our own judgment?
It's a valid concern. Like, if we start relying too heavily on AI to make diagnoses and treatment recommendations, could we become complacent?
Right.
And maybe lose some of those critical thinking skills that are absolutely essential for good medicine?
It's like, think of it like relying on a calculator for every math problem. Sure, you'll probably get the right answer, but you might forget how to do those calculations on your own.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we find that sweet spot, between leveraging the power of AI, but also making sure that we hold on to our own, clinical expertise?
I think AI, it should enhance our abilities as doctors, not, replace them entirely. The ideal situation is one where AI and human intelligence work together, each playing to their strengths.
So how do we strike that balance? How do we make sure that AI is a force for good in medicine and not some, dystopian future we see in the movies?
Well, I think education is a good place to start. I think medical students and residents need to be learning about AI and how to use it responsibly.
Right.
Understanding both its capabilities and its limitations.
Yeah, we've got to equip those future doctors with the knowledge and skills to navigate this new world of AI-driven healthcare.
Absolutely. And it's not just doctors. We need to educate patients as well. Patients should understand how AI is being used in their own care so that they can participate in those decisions.
I agree. Being transparent with patients about the role of AI is really key here. They should feel comfortable asking questions and voicing any concerns they might have.
Right. At the end of the day, I think the key to keeping AI a positive force in medicine is keeping that focus on the human element.
It really comes down to this. AI should help us be better doctors, not replace that human connection we have with our patients.
Couldn't agree more. Compassion, empathy, the doctor-patient relationship, those are the qualities that make medicine so human.
And those are the qualities we need to hold on to as AI continues to evolve and change the landscape of healthcare.
Absolutely. This has been a thought-provoking conversation.
It has. This whole thing has given us a lot to think about.
It has.
It's such a complex field and it's changing so rapidly, but there's also so much potential. I think the key is to approach AI in medicine with a sense of both excitement and caution. Embrace the possibilities, but also be mindful of the limitations.
And never forget that at the heart of healthcare is that human connection.
Right. That's a really important point. And speaking of the human connection, there's actually another interesting angle on AI and healthcare that I think is worth exploring.
Okay.
It comes from an article, a perspective piece, actually, in NEJM AI.
Yeah.
Where a physician and computer scientists argue that interacting with AI, like these medical chatbots, could actually help us be better at, the human side of medicine.
That's interesting. How so?
So this doctor, he actually decided to try and break a medical chatbot.
Oh, wow.
He fed it the toughest, most emotionally charged scenarios he could think of. Like, difficult end-of-life decisions, ethical dilemmas. He even tried to get the bot to, give bad advice.
Oh, so he was really throwing, all the messy real-life stuff that doctors deal with every day at this AI.
Exactly. And he found that the chatbot, While not perfect, of course, it handled these situations with like a surprising level of sensitivity. It even offered advice that in some cases he admitted was better than what he had given in real life.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, it makes sense that AI would be good at, processing information and giving those logical responses, but to see it showing like empathy and dealing with complex ethical considerations, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. And his point wasn't that, AI will replace human doctors or anything like that. He actually thinks that working with these systems, even just in like a practice setting, could help doctors improve their own communication skills and their counseling skills.
It's like having a virtual partner to practice with, right? You can run through these difficult conversations, try different approaches, and get feedback all in this safe environment.
Exactly. And you can do this over and over again, honing your skills until you feel confident and ready for those real-life interactions with patients and families.
Like a flight simulator for doctors, helping us prepare for all that, the turbulence of human emotions and all that.
I like that analogy. I think it really underscores the importance of focusing not just on the technical capabilities of AI, but also how it can enhance our skills as human beings, on that human side of medicine.
I do. Well, this deep dive has covered a lot of ground. We've seen AI transforming autism screening, passing medical board exams with flying colors, and raising some really important questions about the future of healthcare.
It really has.
It's given us all, I think, a lot to think about, but here's a thought to leave everyone with. If AI can achieve all of this now, what will the medical landscape look like in 5, 10, 20 years?
It's hard to imagine, but one thing is for sure, AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role in healthcare as we move forward. And it's really up to us to shape how that role evolves.
Right. We need to ask those tough questions, have those difficult conversations, and work together to make sure that AI is a force for good in medicine for all of us.
We can't just sit back and wait to see what happens. We need to be proactive, not reactive. We need to make sure that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. This whole conversation has been fascinating, but I think what really sticks with me is this idea of balance. Finding that balance between harnessing the incredible power of AI and maintaining that essential human element at the heart of healthcare.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that medicine is and always will be about more than just data and technology. It's about compassion, empathy, and that unique bond between a doctor and a patient. And as we move forward with AI, we absolutely have to keep those values front and center.
I completely agree. That's a really important point. That's a powerful message to leave everyone with. Until next time, keep exploring those big questions and keep diving deep.